Good morning. I have come down to the beach this morning. It's a Saturday morning. My husband's had to go to work just for a few hours and he works down here on the Mornington Peninsula, so I decided to come with him so that I could then come down here to Flinders, grab myself a coffee, bring my knitting and enjoy some nature. I'd also go for a walk. So I hope you can hear me. I'm sat out on Flinders Pier at the moment and sunrise is just ahead of me, which is why I'm wearing these, because otherwise I can't see a thing. But it's so peaceful. There's a group of ocean swimmers down here called the Flinders Icebergers, and I've just seen them come in from their morning swim. So I thought I'd bring my most recent cast on with me, which is, as you can see, this super fluffiness, and it is a test knit for Penrose Knits. I started it last night. Good morning. There's not many people around, but there's a few. So I started it last night and so far I'm enjoying it, and it is a little bit fiddly, a little bit slippery, but thankfully mohair's rather sticky, so if I miss a stitch or if a stitch slips off, it's easy to pick back up again. So yeah, I'm going to get a little bit more knitting in, and then I'm going to finish my coffee and maybe go get a pastry or some breakfast or something. And in an hour, I'm going to go pick up my husband and then we'll head home. Coffee. Good morning. I am finally plucking up the courage to deal with the issues on my Illuminate sweater this morning. So I tried it on the other day, and unfortunately the body has a bit of a wibble wobble along here after the colour work, so that needs to be dealt with. I went back through the pattern to double check what I needed to do or if I missed a step, but it doesn't actually say what needle to use for colour work. Where am I? I need to put my glasses on. It does suggest needle sizes here. So it says main fabric 3.5 mil, sleeves 3.75 and ribbing 2.25. It doesn't actually say that there should be a difference between the colour work, but obviously people tend to knit slightly tighter on colour work only because of the floats in the back, so that reduces the stretch. So it makes sense that I probably should have sized down to 3.5 for the body, which is just stripes and there's no floats, literally just this back seam where you carry the yarn up. So anyway, that means I have to rip all this back. It also means I have to pick up the stitches before the splitting of the sleeve, because just after the colour work there is a bunch of increases, and then it is a couple of stripes until you get the right depth for splitting for the armhole. When I tried it on The depth was fine, so I know my armhole placement will be fine, but I think it's going to be slightly shorter if I switch to slightly smaller needles. Anywho, so there's that, and because I knew there was a feature of this pattern having really tight arms, I was concerned about that, so I was aiming for a certain bicep circumference, and it's been a while since I looked at this, but thankfully I wrote down my stitch goals for when I separate for sleeves and body. I'm so glad I did, because having to rip this back without this, I would just be lost again. So here we go. Sleeve stitch goal is 84 stitches after the underarm, the addition of adding stitches at the underarm with the backwards loop method. So I got my goal as well last time, so I know this works, so I'm sticking with that. Fingers crossed it all works out. And now I'm just going to finish picking up the stitches, and then I'm going to tear all of this back. Hello. So it's a Thursday, and I have taken a couple of days off work just because I haven't taken off any time really in a long time, and I needed a bit of a break from working from home every day. So I'm using these few days off to do things that I want to do. Thought I'd treat myself to a mani-pedi, and also I thought I'd treat myself to sorting out our pantry, which we haven't actually organised since we moved into this place almost a year ago. And when we put stuff in the pantry, we literally just dumped it in there. So for the last year, we have been rummaging through it like raccoons, trying to find the things that we own that we can eat, and my god, the thing is like chock-a-block. So my main task today is to sort out the pantry, and you can see the chaos behind me. I've also got loads of stuff out on the benches in front of me. I'm gonna try and make it pretty, like all those lovely home organization, kitchen pantry organization videos on YouTube. Yeah, the goal is to put it into some semblance of order, and sorry, ignore the laundry as well behind me. Yeah, put it into some semblance of order and keep it tidy. So I know this isn't like making or knitting related, but I will have plenty of knitting done today. I was going to go to the beach, but it's actually quite a rainy day, so it's not really worth it. And I can always go on the weekend when the weather's going to be better. So yeah, I have some before photos. I'll share those, and then I'll share the after photos with you later, but that's pretty much what I'm doing today on my day off. Yeah, and I plan on getting loads of knitting done. I need to deal with my Illuminate sweater, which needs to be ripped back and switched to a different needle size. And I also want to make some more progress on my test knit for Penrose Knits, because everyone in the test knit group is like amazing, but so quick at getting those done. And I'm just feeling a little bit behind, so I want to make some progress on that today. Yeah, I'm still working on the yoke, and I'm hoping to get to the ruffle bit at least today, at which point, yeah, I want to work on like the I-cord neckline and things like that. So I have some goals to kick today, but I also need to do some stuff around the house. So I'm gonna get on with that. We need to spray around the house because there's loads of bugs at the moment. So I'm gonna do that first, and then I'm gonna have some breakfast, and then I'm gonna deal with the pantry. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'll see you later. Okay, this has taken me the better part of the day, let's just say all day, and part of yesterday to do, but let me present my organised pantry with lights. Okay, granted, not every shelf has a light, but I wanted to test this pack out before I bought some more. But it's finally organised, you can see everything, everything has a place. Top shelves for baking and overflow and tinned fruit, which we never really use. It's just in case the apocalypse happens. This is for like jams and sauces and spreads and spices. And this is our biggest shelf. It's mainly for like Asian food, Indian, some Japanese at the back, and then lots of like coconut milk and all sorts of things, and miso soup in the jar. And then down here is pasta and risotto stuff. And down the bottom is mainly tins. Mainly tins and like extra salt and pepper for our grinders and noodles. So yeah, it's so neat. It's so tidy. Fingers crossed it lasts. And I'm really chuffed with these lights. And they dim as well. But yeah, anywho, I'm going to stop playing with them because I'm going to kill the batteries. Bye. Hey everyone, I thought I would sort out my yarn stash today because lately it's got a little bit disorganized and messy because I have been rummaging through it trying to find yarn options in my stash for some new releases of patterns that I've just become completely obsessed with. So I looked around at my usual spots where I stash yarn, and yeah, it's a pigsty. So I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by the mess. Also, we just got notification that we have our rental inspection this coming week, so it's a perfect opportunity to deal with the mess and also create a space of calm and organization, which seems to be what I've been focusing on really for the last couple of weeks. So yes, recently I've been dealing with a bit of overwhelm. The kind of build up of the pandemic has finally caught up with me, and the way I've been trying to deal with that is to really focus on some self-care, really looking after myself and just doing the simple things that we used to do every day but perhaps we haven't been doing because we're working from home, or there's nothing really to get dressed for, to leave the house and that kind of thing. So just basic things, and I've made myself a list, and when I'm not feeling that great I make sure I do everything on the list. Just simple things like getting up, washing my face, brushing my hair, maybe put on some perfume, get properly dressed in clothes and not active wear, and things like that really. And getting out for walks, making sure I prioritize time for myself, and things like I haven't actually been reading a lot either, so I'm trying to get back into reading again. I used to read so much, so much, but these days I don't know, I haven't found really the right books to read. So yes, we went to the local mall here yesterday and stopped in the bookshop, and I picked myself up a book which is on my bedside table. So I'm going to start reading properly. I do have a pile of books there, as I'm sure most people do, that I have been meaning to read, but I haven't touched them, or I pick them up, read a few pages and just completely lose interest. Anyway, so they're just kind of my little means of self-care. And the other things I've been trying to do is to, I guess, create spots of calm and organization and have control over the things that I can have control over. So, and part of that is really sorting out my home office, my yarn stash, the pantry, things like that. And taking back a little bit of control and creating a bit of calm definitely does help. So yeah, so it's I guess a perfect opportunity to show you my yarn stash as I sort through it and organize it. And the way I want to organize it really is into projects. So I have yarn, I basically want to use up a lot of my stash this year. I will need to purchase little bits in between, like an accompanying base yarn for a mohair, or a mohair for a yarn that I already have if the pattern calls for it, but I want to use mainly what I have. And so I'm going to organize my yarn into project baskets, and I bought myself some of these little crates, foldable crates, the other day. And yes, so I have some ideas of what I'd like to put in my mental knitting queue, which is, I have to say, completely different to my Ravelry knitting queue at the moment. So I will organize my yarn by project, and those projects that I'm not going to start for a while, I'm going to probably just bag them up into plastic bags that I've already got from IKEA and stash them away nice and neatly. So yeah. So come along as I sort out my yarn. I hope you enjoy watching and you enjoy organizing it as much, well, you enjoy watching me organize it as much as I enjoy organizing it. So yeah, let's go and create some calm. Well, that time lapse was like 20 something seconds, but it had to be at least about 20 minutes, I think. I was sorting through my stash. I think I've managed to do most of it. There's a bit I just don't know what to do with, so I'm just going to stuff it all into the plastic IKEA bags. And everything else I've kind of sorted into projects. So I'll just quickly show you what those kind of are. At least some sort of sense of order. Sorry, I keep checking my phone just because I want to make sure that the camera doesn't like auto zoom out, which I always find really annoying. So I've got 1, 2, 3 whips at the moment. This little crate is for the mohair that I've got for the Souffle Tee by Penrose Knits, which is the test knit. And just a quick sneak peek, this is how far I've progressed. It doesn't seem like a lot, but I do have it on rather a short circular needle, so it's all bunched up. So I'm getting there with that, but just check out how cute that is so far. Anyway, so that's one whip that I'm working on at the moment. The most important whip, I have to say. So that's for immediate use. The other one is the Illuminate sweater. Now I had spare skeins stashed away that I was going to cake up as and when I needed them, but what I've done is I've just put them in the bottom of the basket along with the caked up yarn and the project, so everything's in one spot, so I don't have to go hunting for the skeins later. I've done the same with the Ghost Horses sweater. I had 4 skeins stashed away waiting to be caked up for use. I honestly don't think I'll use all 4 of them in the 2 of each colorway for this, given it's a short sleeved one, but they're organized. I know where everything is, so that's good. So the other thing was I have had a cone of some DK undyed merino for a while. I actually dyed up half of it for my tulip sweater, and so I've got the leftover, which is essentially another sweater's quantity in here. I bought some Holst yarn super soft recently as well, in this kind of navy blue. The color is Mariner. So I've been wanting to make the sailor sweater by Anna Wenzel for a while. So I think I'm going to use the whole super soft and a Strandell, the Titty Kaka, which I bought just to test out for the sailor sweater. So I've put that in a project basket ready to start when I want to. So this is I've gone blank. Nutiden, Pupilin, all balled up. Not all of it, not the whole sweater quantity, but balled up and ready to start one of Melody Hoffman's sweaters, because that has been on my knitting queue for a while. So this is little motivation to go, look, you've got it ready, cast it on. So that's that one. The other one, so this one here, I have set aside these colors for the, I've gone blank again, Jessie May Designs Great Gingham Raglan. So these are already in my stash. It'd be awesome if I could use my stash for another color work when I eventually get round to it. So yeah, I think these two will go really nicely together. This is just a little crate with the yarns, the yarn and the leftover mohairs that I wanted to use for Cami Jo Knits Bubble Wrap Cow. So that's ready to go. This is just a little crate with some of the beautiful yarn I got from Wishbone Yarn. I bought one of her copper or fade kits, and I caked it up because I wanted to test it out for the Great Gingham Raglan, but I don't really have the right colour yarn for it. There was one I saw that I could buy, essentially the same type of yarn on Etsy, but I don't really want to buy more yarn. So I've held off, but still I batched it together with some matching mohair that I had in my stash. I know I'm rushing through this, but it's quite hot and sweaty up here, so I want to retreat to the cool. This little crate, I've just shoved in some yarn that I know I'm going to use for hats and accessories. This is a half finished Stockholm hat that I really need to finish, and then I've got some of the yarn, the mithril yarn for my husband's hat. I was going to make him a basset hat as well, and then in my Holsgarn order I ordered some of their cashmere blend, which I thought I might make a berry number 1 from. And then I also have this gorgeous camel yarn that I bought for my husband, and I might make him one of these with it, I don't know, but this is my little accessories crate. Other things I've just organized into bags. So I have this mohair I bought from Knitting for Olive last year, which I knew I wanted to pair with some Nutiden, so I have bagged that up. I bought some of this undyed yak, what is it, yak, silk and merino from Fibre Art Shed last year, as well as a sweater quantity there. It's DK weight. I'm not sure what I want to use it for yet, but I will eventually. It's already bagged up. Again, not sure what I want to do with this, but it's already bagged up, so it's essentially organized. This is Maker Moran's colorway Potion in 4-ply sock, so I'll figure something out for that. Here I actually bought this Lang lace to use for the Souffle Tee. I bought 2 color options for the souffle, and I thought, you know what, this is both so pretty, I just don't know which one I want to use, but when it arrived I really wanted to use the pink, so that's stashed away for potentially another Souffle Tee. Otherwise, while sorting out today, I realized it kind of matches this Clover Daintree base by Skein Yarn. This is a superwash merino, bamboo and silk mix. So I haven't figured out yet what I want to do with this, but same color family, so it looks pretty and organized together. And this, I don't think I've showed you. No, I haven't done any actual yarn haul or acquisitions on a podcast recently, because everything's arrived between the last time I did a podcast and now. But I did order some Peruvian Highland wool from knit.co.uk that perfectly matches some of my mohair that I had in my stash, so I know that's going to be a sweater quantity. And here is my frogged the very first cardigan I ever made, which was, I think, January, a year ago. I ended up frogging it because it just didn't work. So that's all that yarn. Then I have some lovely kind of rainbow fingering, and then this is some of the beautiful hand spun yarn I got in the Yarn Festival last year from Cat and Sparrow. And I also have the Louie and Lola mohair cobblestone mix. So I don't know yet what I'm going to do with these, which is why they're in the plastic box. They'll go at the bottom of the pile with the other stuff on top for now. And then I have this old I was gifted this by my parents. They found it in an op shop. So the lid's all the way over there, but it's a 2-tier storage, I think Chinese basket. So I use it to store all my sock yarn, my leftover mohair skeins that are left over from projects. I've also got some other kind of fingering weight stuff there that I bought as just like to try out, and I thought maybe I could make something with them at some point in the future. So yeah, I do still have some bags of like leftover skeins, like odd skeins behind me. Yeah, and some swatches. So I've just been throwing my swatches in that Chinese basket as and when I finish working on things. Oh, that's the sailor sweater swatch I made ages ago, but with a different stripe yarn. But anywho, so I don't know really what to do with my swatches. I thought I might save them up and stitch them all together one day and do a swatch blanket. So I'm saving them all, and maybe I'll do something with them in the future. So that's it. I mean, I've kind of got it organized now. I just need to put it away. I usually store most of my yarn stash that I'm not immediately using in my walk-in wardrobe on the floor in my section underneath my clothes. So it's all packed up, it's all secure. And anything that I'm using immediately, I will keep in my home office in the little corner next to the little Chinese cabinet, or inside of that. So yeah, I feel a bit more relief now. I mean, there's still loads to put away, but it's kind of in some semblance of order. I know what I'm doing, I know where everything is. I do have a pile of needles beside me that I need to put away in my needle case, which is getting out of control as well. So at some point I'll sort that out as well. But I do feel so much better. I'm a bit hot and sweaty, but yeah, I feel like I'm back in control of things a little bit. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Hopefully I will get this up online today. I know this is not a normal podcast, this is more of a vlog. I just kind of wanted to share what I've been doing over the last week or so with the trip to the beach and sorting out my pantry. I actually went to the museum, the National Gallery of Victoria the other day with my parents on one of my days off. We saw the Gabrielle Chanel exhibition, so some beautiful, beautiful French clothing, which I may insert into this vlog just to show you. But yeah, it's been really nice. This kind of has been my week of a regroup for myself to kind of, yeah, as I said, deal with some overwhelm and get back in control of myself, start to feel myself a little bit more. Yeah, I have another week off planned in March for my birthday, which is at the end of March. So hopefully I'll be doing some fun things then as well. But not long after this vlog, I will actually do a podcast and I'll share with you my finished objects, more progress on my whips, which you've glimpsed today. And yeah, well, I do actually have quite a few acquisitions to walk you through as well, which you have again glimpsed today. But yeah, it'll be good, and I'll talk more about the test knit that I'm doing for Laura. So yeah, that's it for now. I'm gonna go retreat to the air conditioning downstairs. So you just have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon.